Okay, here comes the top again in 3, 2. The Ottawa Senators underwent a significant facelift this past summer, saying goodbye to the likes of Chara, Hasek, and Havlat. But of all the new faces that have arrived here in camp, the one that is the most intriguing is a young Russian prospect named Alexei Kaigorodov, who right now is being penciled in as Daniel Alfredsson's new center.
Ottawa's Byward Market has come a long way from its working-class roots. The market may be trendy, colorful, and upscale today, but back in the 1800s, it was the cradle of Ottawa's poorest classes. The market was the hub of Lowertown, home of the rough-and-ready men of Ottawa's burgeoning lumber trade. The area's first residences were temporary homes erected for those who were building the Rideau Canal. Once the canal was completed, the lots were sold off, and stone houses, some of which can be seen today, began to appear. There was much French-English tension in Lowertown, culminating in a famous stone-throwing riot in 1849, known as Stony Monday. After that, however, peace was established, prompting the appearances of shops, businesses, and farmers' stalls, a tradition that continues to this day.
The holidays, always a time for decoration. You got your Christmas trees, your bows of holly, and of course the very popular Christmas lights. That's why when you see those lights come up at Parliament and the surrounding areas, it's always a sight to behold. And with over 300,000 lights coming up this year, you got to ask yourself the question, well, what kind of lights are they using and who puts up all these lights? With over 300,000 lights to be lit up this year, 100,000 of which will be LED lights, the process all starts with a lighting designer.
In January, as a team, we will we will drive around to evaluate the lights. And at this time in my head, it will start the process of designing for the next year. I see where I can improve, where I can surprise the viewers. Not everywhere, but in many places there is a meaning. Like, for example, at the War Memorial, the colors are blue, green, and mauve to represent the dignity and calmness.
Now that the colors have been chosen and the design is in place, it's now up to the technical team to put it all together.
We start preparing the strings mid to early September, and they start going up in the trees around mid-October. We use 100,000 LED lights, and the rest are incandescent lighting, the old traditional lighting.
And how many lights are we looking at in total this year?
In total, along the boulevard with our partners, we're looking over 300,000 lights.
So there you have it. Now that you know all about the hard work and the dedication that goes into putting up these lights, you're going to want to come on down and check them out for yourself. And as for me, I'm going to try and find my sunglasses, because with over 300,000 lights, things could get a little bright around here. I'm Matt Demers.
We've seen the process of putting the stories and the art together for the business section of the Ottawa Citizen. Now it's time for the printing process to begin. Each section of the paper is sent electronically, page by page, to the ad room where the advertisements are placed. Every page comes through this computer system. It's checked for errors or layout issues, the ads are placed on the page, and then it's sent to the lithograph machine to be printed on an aluminum plate that will be used in the final printing process. The first section of the lithograph machine prints the page on the plate. It then follows through a wash and coating process that brings out the image. The plate is then turned and its edges are folded to allow it to adhere to the printing press. In the press room, the plates are placed on the press in order, from the front page to the last page of the paper. Because the business section's front page has a color photo, 4 plates are needed to create the colors. They are placed on the press in order: yellow, magenta, cyan, which is a shade of blue, then black. Each plate then passes over the press blanket, which creates a negative image. As the press rolls and comes in contact with the press blanket, the negative image is transferred to newsprint to create the image that you see on your paper. One of these giant rolls of paper weighs 1 ton, and each roll is 11.5 kilometers long. Each press uses 64 rolls of paper in a press run. This stock of rolls will be used to print just 1 day's paper. The paper for the entire week is housed in this area to become acclimatized to the press area temperature. If the paper is too cold, the press could jam. Each roll of paper is brought to the press on a track system that's embedded in the floor of the press room. Once on the track dolly, the roll is pushed to its position on the press and loaded on the machine. The Citizen prints 42,000 papers per hour per press, and the presses run at 60 kilometers per hour. 600,000 kilos of soy-based enviro-friendly ink is used each year by the paper. As the printing process is completed, the paper is cut and the pages come together in the correct order. They pass through a folding process and are placed individually on the conveyor track that flies through the air of the press room. The papers are then bundled and loaded into 83 trucks for delivery. Trucks begin leaving the Citizen at 11:45 p.m. to have the papers on subscribers' doorsteps by 6 a.m. the next day. So in the morning, when you pick up your Ottawa Citizen from your mailbox, a vending box, or even at a retail location, keep in mind that 650 people work for the Ottawa Citizen in Ottawa. They have 800 paper carriers, and believe it or not, it costs $850,000 a year in electricity bills just to run the printing presses. That is our show this week on Ottawa Citizen Business TV. We'll see you next week.